closed, and when you close your eyes, my friend, it's important to understand that we close our eyes that with understanding that what understanding that the sense organ cannot find the real self, nor the eyes, nor the ears, sense of touch, taste, etc. There is no way. That is why we close our eyes. So it means if the mind has lot of thoughts pertaining to the world outside, we leave them as it is. That is the way. So you see, in the practice we have a knowledge. If we don't have a knowledge in the practice, we simply close our eyes, we may fall into sleep, our mind may be wandering. That is the case. So now in that we will understand this clearly again in a different way, being comfortable and carefree. But at this moment, it is important in the beginning when we have mind is constantly challenging us, we are blaming ourselves. That is the impurity of the mind. We should never ever blame ourselves. Why? It is going to create a guilt, and ultimately guilt will create a negativity. Negativity will be expressed in the thought, and that will affect your relationship. No way. But how to remove that impurity, and that is what the practice is, purifying the mind, that you just casually in that state you start breathing through the nostrils into the rib cage. If it doesn't affect your throat and the teeth, then it's okay. It will not. Yes, that's really good. I like this breathing. You're now doing, first time you're doing good, because of the talk I gave to you. It instantly influences the mind. Continue, continue, continue. Very good. Continue, 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 and stop it. Do nothing. There is a little change, little correction is required, that we will do in the next session. Now take a deep breath into the belly and the rib cage. While breathing out, make the humming sound. Continue, please. And now stop this. Remain as you are. No movement in the body. No movement in the body at all. And what we are going to do that will help you release the laziness, release the blame and the complaint from your mind. It is very important. How it happens? I know that in the beginning we cannot connect to these practices to our challenges that we have, but if you continue to do it, you will find. So move the mind, or your mind is looking at the skin of the head and the neck. So it means when it looks at the skin of the head and the neck, you experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So that state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness, that state, the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness changes behavior and attitude. Can it happen in one time? No. We have already accumulated so many impressions in our mind. Trillions of impressions. That is why the regular practice is required. Now move the mind on the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips, as if your mind is touching the skin of the right arm, and it goes to the fingertips. So you will find some tingling sensation or some vibration. Sometimes it results into vision. It's okay. So experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm from the shoulder to the fingertips and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the rib cage. So entire rib cage in the front and the back. You feel it, means as if your mind is touching the skin. So when mind touches the skin means what? You feel the sensation, relaxation, and the stillness. Well, your mind may say that I don't feel it. No worries. When you repeat the step, when you repeat the practice, you will feel it. Move the mind on the belly, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. No movement in the body, my friend. Move the mind on the right leg, from the right side of the waist to the toes, as if your mind is touching the skin of the entire right leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now move the mind on the entire body. Or if I say move the mind on the skin of the entire body, from top of the head to the toes. As you move, so you feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So be into that state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. I know your mind may be struggling inside. Let it struggle for a couple of days, but instead of mind is struggling, we use another step. What is that step? We use the step of a mantra. So mentally you say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Mentally. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. It will trigger your brain because you are learning something new. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. It means let everyone be happy. So why we are saying this? We are replacing the thoughts of blaming yourself and blaming others with thought, let everyone be happy. When everyone is happy, you are happy, your near and the dear ones are happy. You simply think and visualize. Visualize your kids, Narek. Visualize all your near and the dear ones, your relations. Even if someone is against you, you just intend, think, let he or she be happy. Why? Because we want to change this blame game. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. We drop the blame and the complaint. What is the meaning? Let everyone be in the state of well-being. So if you are in the state of well-being, there is no self-blame, there is no blaming of others. If others are blaming, you just recognize them that they do not know what they are doing. That is what Jesus said, who were crucifying him. So at present we are doing it internally. We are replacing that thought, movement of the thought in our mind by the mantra. So when you are doing the regular practice and you remember this mantra, you can do the mantra mentally all the time, whether you are in a kitchen, driving, doing anything, talking to someone. That has a tremendous impact. It sends the vibrations to others. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. You are saying in your mind, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. It means let everyone be blessed. Let the blessing and the grace fall upon each and everyone. To you first, and to the near and dear ones, to others whom you have reacted in the past, or you have a feeling of ill will. Let us do it. Why? Because I want to purify my mind. If I say God bless you, it is nothing happens. But if I recognize that the existence always blesses everyone, that is going to change our mind. You have to listen to this again and again. Ma kasche dukha bhag bhaved. ma kasche dukha bhag bhave, ma kasche dukha bhag bhave. Let none suffer from misery in this world. This is the meaning. So when my mind thinks in that way, we don't have a guilt. We don't blame ourselves. We don't blame everyone. But we want to improve. We want to change. We don't want to prove anything, but we want to improve. That is the way we should change our life, my friend. And in that state, you're looking at the breath. You're looking at the breath. Check that you're calm and relaxed. You're calm and relaxed, and stillness is there. Now, at this time, when the breath goes in, you watch, count one, breath comes out, count out one. When it goes in two, out two. Go on counting the breath when it goes in and out. Why we are counting? We want to change the mindset. The mind continues to live within. Why the mind lives within? It feels the sense of freedom and the calmness. Now do nothing, remain as you are. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. In that state of the calmness and relaxation, when we listen to these principles, for us it becomes easy to understand, and it also builds up a tremendous will to change your life. So bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand, lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. How do you feel?
Calm and desire to change.
Oh, very good. Desire to change. So we will understand what we want in our life. We have to analyze, we have to observe, we have to think. Which one is more important, big home or a big heart?
Big heart.
So when I blame myself, I don't have a big heart. So when I blame myself, I don't have a big heart. When I blame others, I don't have a big heart. And that is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. So we want to achieve the highest goal in life. That is what it is. To discover within me the permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. That is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. So I'm comparing. So whether we have that goal in our mind all the time, or we have other goals like all kinds of physical pleasure, emotional pleasure, gossip, blaming and complaining others and oneself. So we have to separate the two in our mind. If we do not separate, then nothing is going to happen. So first is the big home versus the big heart. Second is the fine big goal of life is to seek permanent peace and happiness, or bad goals. What are the bad goals? We will talk slowly, just wait. Now ask yourself, do you want an emotional freedom or emotional dependence? So emotional freedom we all should seek. But if I want an emotional dependence, that causes the attachment, that causes the guilt, that causes the blame. Emotionally, you are free all the time. Emotional freedom keeps you always in the state of calmness and the joy. We will understand what is this emotional freedom and emotional dependence. I'm just giving you. We normally think in the society, I'm emotionally attached to you. That is why you are suffering. I give emotional freedom to myself, to others. Emotional freedom keeps your mind always full of joy. And emotional dependence always keeps you on your toes. Always a sense of anxiety, duality, fully busy, reaction, anger, hesitation. I'm just giving you a brief introduction. As we go on, we'll understand. Now there are two words. One is, you can say, delusion, and other word is dispassion. So what happens, whether there are two kinds of people. One kind of people live in the world of dispassion. Other kinds of people world in the world of delusion. So those people who live in the world of delusion, they are always anxious. They always feel tired. They are always full of blame and complaint. They always have a duality. They go to sleep, the sleep doesn't come. They want to wake up in the morning, it is hard for them to wake up. Now, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking in general. And what happens, they start talking to someone and suddenly they lose their temper. They are angry. They get upset. It is all because of delusion. So there are four sets. Big home versus the big heart. Bad goals versus the right goal. Emotional freedom versus the emotional dependence. And that we are living in the world of dispassion, or we are living in the world of delusion. My friend, you have to think that nothing changes. Those people who are living in permanent peace and happiness, they don't have 3 eyes or 4 ears. There is an internal change. There is a change in their mind. And that is why there is a change in behavior and attitude. There are people I was talking to, a couple of times. I told you about the Bill Gates is the richest guy. But then he said, I lived loveless life for 27 years. So you see, billions of dollars cannot change my heart. Because I was expecting love from others. When I expect love from anyone outside, it is attachment. When I express love for everyone in the world, not only that makes me happy, but it makes others also happy. Now, what about if they expect love from us? Find out what kind of a relationship with your daughter. Give. With your honey, give. With your mother, give. Love are also, expression of love are different in different relationships. But if you go on expecting love from others, you are making your life hell. And when we don't get it, we start blaming ourselves.
You said that, I was actually thinking that exact thing today. I was like, I felt like Eric was like not loving me as much. Like I'm losing him. And I was blaming myself.
So it means you are expecting love, and expecting love is an attachment. It has nothing to do with the love. And any expectations always meet with a frustration. You're right. So when you meet with a frustration, when you have tears in your eyes, it is because of the attachment. When I become aware, when I'm relaxed and calm, and when I offer and express myself in love and care, others will surely notice. Others always notice. I always used to go to my master monastery, and first thing that I said, I will not ask any question. What I will do, I will serve my master. Whom do you serve? Out of love. So taking care of every aspect of my masters in the monastery. So after a few months, he recognized, what do you want? And then I have all my questions answered. So there is another way. Now I have done so much for you, why you are not doing, why you are not answering my question. My master will throw me out of the monastery. So that is what is happening at the emotional level with you. So when we have those expectations, attachment, I will talk in detail about this once you understand this attachment, and it creates a poison in our life, in our mind. You are living together. What is the meaning that, he or she doesn't love you? What is that meaning? You are living together. So that is the first testimony. Now I have to change from the physical level to emotional level. I should not create an emotional baggage. And that is why I said emotional freedom versus emotional dependence. So attachment is emotional dependence. Let no one talk to you for about a year, but you take care. You express your love and care. What's going to happen? Others are bound to change. And that will be a true relationship. Otherwise, these relationships, today I'm upset, tomorrow I'm happy, third day I have a physical relationship, fourth day I go and buy something. This continues like everyone. It has no value. It has no value at all. We get upset, we are happy. We get again upset on something. You say sorry, I am sorry, and you are sorry. Again we keep on continuing for a couple of days, and again we enter into the same conflict. How many times it did not happen? So that is because of the attachment. If that attachment continues, expectation will continue, so the stress will continue. So the goal of the Eastern wisdom is to bring an end to the suffering completely. Whether the other person in your relations around you, your mind says that it is not loving, it is not helping, no worries. But first I have to bring an end to the emotional freedom inside. I should not continue the emotional baggage. I should not continue the expectations from the world and the emotional dependence. That is the meaning of bringing an end to the suffering. Anytime from today, your mind says, no one loves me. Tell your mind, stop this nonsense. You tell your mind, stop this nonsense. I have to find out why, mind, you are thinking in this way. Let me start taking care of each one who is near and dear one, instead of expecting. If you do it without any expectation, even for a week, the life will change. But it takes a lot of time. So then what happens? The mind is purified. And that purified mind does the practice of meditation, and it discovers the permanent peace and happiness. So our masters teach us that we should act with awareness, we should act with giving nature. Let us understand in a different way. Emotional dependence means I am a consumer. And I act and I express myself of a giving nature, I am a contributor. Everyone loves the contributor. People love the consumer for a day or two. But after that, if you are not a contributor, they don't love you. They will leave you. Consumer means I am deeply attached. It means that you fulfill my expectations. I have a lot of expectations from you. And being a contributor means that I am ready to contribute. In what way I can make you feel comfortable, at ease, happy. That is what you do with your kids. But why it is not happening? It's not happening now. So why it is not happening? We have to understand that. So we have desires of the body and the ego. One reason. Yeah. First reason, we have desires of the body and the ego, and we have an inner anger. Why inner anger? Because things are not going my way. Things are not going my way. So if things are not going my way, I'm already agitated inside. And I can flare up any time if anyone talks to me. Why? Because my desires of the body and the ego are not fulfilled. And third is attachment. Attachment to the people, to the relations. What is the way? We have to understand what is dispassion. We have to understand what is detachment. We have to understand what is non-identification. If we learn this, the mind is clear, then only the mind can start learning how to discover that peace and happiness. I believe you are getting it. But I will go in deeply with each aspect. The meaning in life is that I am in permanent peace and happiness. Meaning in life is not to earn billions of dollars. Anyone can earn. Make an effort and you will earn. Less or more is different. Okay? Anyone can earn. You, me. Meaning in life means what life meaning is that I focus myself inwardly. I drop egoistic desires. I'm in the mode of being a contributor. I change the mind and the intellect, and that is what the journey of the Eastern wisdom. Even if the person is a criminal, we don't say anything as far as we keep a distance with that. We see that person has a potential to be in permanent peace and happiness. What he has done, maybe because of ignorance. We don't say that any person is to blame. So when we start with that freshness of the mind, now that mind can easily change. Again, go back. Attachment simply means that I cling to the temporary pleasures of the world. I cling, I expect, I project pleasure in the world outside, whether it may be an object, a person, or a thing. I'll take a cup of tea and I'll be happy. So it means happiness is present in the cup of coffee, but happiness is not there. Because others are taking soft drink, still others are taking vodka, still others are taking tea. So it means my mind projects that happiness in the cup of tea. When I take it, that projection is emotional dependence. I know in the beginning it becomes very difficult to understand. I will open up these, but just keep in your mind. Sometime then, because then we have millions of desires. When we have lot of expectation and attachment in the world, then we have millions and millions of desires. No, I have only 2 or 3 desires. No, you have to sit down and find out. That's why we have a self-blame and self-guilt in our life. Otherwise, there is no reason. So once we sit down, you're listening to the talk again and again, you will be able to discover that there are unfulfilled desires buried in your mind. They start surfacing. And we have to deal with those unfulfilled desires by right knowledge, by self-inquiry, by meditation practice. Life will change. We should know how to see the world. For me, you are a friend of mine, you are just a seeker. So the mind has to be prevented from being a consumer. The moment it becomes consumer, my perception towards you will change. The same way your perception towards him has changed. So that is why you have an expectation, because of the expectation. So we have to cultivate that inner peace. We are already doing the practice. We have to become a contributor that helps us to move with love and affection. We have to serve. How you become a contributor? You see that what are the members of your family, how many, and how you become a contributor in their life. It will hurt your ego. Yes, you have to hurt your ego. Why you have to hurt your ego? Ego is one of the major factors of lot of challenges in your life. So if I become a contributor, let me take care. In what way I can help each one in the family so that they can live in a relaxed, calm, and happy and creative manner without any expectation. It hurts your ego. Let your ego be hurt for first 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, and then now your ego has gone down. You will discover that now you are peace and happiness, and others have started responding. I'm just giving an outline. We have to see the entire world as a place of dispassion, not as a place of delusion. That will help us to overcome our weaknesses, anger, blame, concept. Come back, what we are searching? We are searching the real self. What is real self? Real self is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Is the real self present in everyone? Yes, it is present in everyone. In you, in Eric, in your daughters, in everyone. Even in what you are patting now. Even in that patting, yes. So because you are learning this path of Eastern wisdom, if other person becomes angry or reacting, you have to recognize that they have not learned the path of the Eastern wisdom. You see that? You can control your pet. Today is not this time is not the time to love. So this is how the mind works. So I also expect now this is the time to love. And that expectation is not fulfilled, then I get upset, then I say that no one loves me. But these pets are unconscious, they cannot speak. They leave you. And we ask them to love by giving them a bite. That is expectation. No, I have given everything to you and you are not loving me. No, you have not given. That is an ego statement. So we have three essentials of doing the practice. First essential is listening and learning these principles. Constant and regular, consistently. So even when I send you the audio file, you have to listen. Even before going to sleep, you listen and do the practice. When you wake up in the morning, you do the practice. Whenever you have half an hour time, let me listen and practice. So at least your thought pattern has to change. The way your mind is thinking now, with lot of expectations, that has to change to make the life more beautiful. So that part, when you are listening again and again, you are contemplating and reflecting. That is what is known as the contemplation and reflection. And third step is the practice. These are the three major steps. But now you have understood that I need not to expect anything. You have to translate that into action. So every day you think 5 actions that you are going to do for Eric and daughters and near and the dear ones, which will help me to say that I am a contributor. Only 5 small activities. Why? When you become a contributor, you perform those activities, it brings a tremendous change in your emotion. It brings a tremendous change in your emotions. That is another factor that we are going to pick up and understand. I'm talking to you. Last point, understand it clearly. So when I'm talking to you, you are receiving something from me, right? So who is receiving? The mind is receiving. I could see your face again. with those past expectations and attachments. But it has changed a bit, but I could read it. So I could still see your eyes in the face. So that is why I thought better to talk about this. Remember, mind is a receiving station. You receive stimuli from outside. What is that stimuli? You receive the objects of perception through your eyes, ears, nose. You receive the smell, you receive the taste from the tongue, you receive the touch from the skin. That is one receiving. We also receive inside our head. We receive thoughts, feelings, emotions. That is why we say no one loves me. Thank you. It's better no one loves me. You are free. Now how can I live my life without love? No, I'm coming to that. So we also receive from our mind inside. What we receive? Thought, feeling and emotion. So light is responsible to receive an object that I see from in the world outside. What are the factors that I receive? Thought, feeling and emotions, positive and negative, in my mind. They are my upbringing, my innate desires full of expectations, deep attachment, my habits, my duality and a conflict. They convert into thoughts, feeling and emotions, and I start expecting from others. Mentally you have started expecting. That is why you had a thought, no one loves me. Better, it's better no. Sometimes people say, oh, let no one love you, should love me. I will continue to contribute. If I am contributing, people will love. I remember that. Did I tell you about psychiatrist in New Jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you that psychiatrist wrote that what will happen to me if you will die? So that's a positive aspect. I know that he was moving with care and love and affection. It has nothing more to do with attachment. So when your mind becomes so open, fresh and relaxed, you think in that way. And that psychiatrist has changed a lot, transformed. Come back, receiving station, receiving from outside, receiving from inside. Your honey is the same yesterday and today also. So what has changed so that your mind says no one loves me? It is the internal factor or outer factor? Did the sun did the sun tell you that you see that your honey doesn't love you? So it is my inner factors which is happening in my mind. It happened unconsciously, subconsciously, and then it triggered into an emotion, and that emotion triggered into a thought, and that is why you say no one loves me. So these are the impurities of the mind. I have to take care. So what happens? Mind is a receiving station. Then it goes inside. Mind has two receiving stations. It receives from outside, it receives from inside. Right? Now after receiving, it gives an interpretation. It gives a meaning. that meaning, no one loves me, everyone loves me. Bill Gates has that meaning, I lived loveless life for 27 years. Perhaps, he is more stressful than you.
Definitely.
So once your mind gives interpretation because of wrong desire, because of expectation and attachment, then you have a self-harm, self-guilt, then you have a frustration and hesitation. And that is how you respond to the people. Then you don't respond, you react. As if reaction will solve the problem. Have you seen any time reaction has solved any problem? So I should be aware that I should not react. But I should go and find out the cause of reaction. I should remove that reaction. Then I see in what way I should relate to a person whom I love. And let me express my love and care. And see what happens. Even you sow the seed. Seed is totally unconscious. And you become a contributor to the seed in your backyard. What happens? They grow into a sapling and a plant. You sow the seed and the next day you uproot the seed and say, oh, you did not convert into a sapling. What will happen? The seed always dies. That is an attitude of consumer. And what is the attitude of being a contributor? You just plow the field, you sow the seed, you water it regularly, and you don't know anything. What is going to happen? After a few weeks, the sapling grows up. And then you are full of love and care. The journey of peace and happiness is like that. So my friend, think of it and write down when you listen to it, think, ask the questions yourself and write down those questions and send it to my email.